Mantras of our Divine Mother. Our Divine Mother says, he who wants to advance on the path of perfection must never complain about difficulties. Why get excited over small things or let them disturb you? If you remain quiet, things will go much better. If there is a difficulty, you are more likely to find out a way in a quiet mind open to the peace and power. This is the secret of going on, not to allow things and happenings, not even real mistakes, to upset you, but remain quiet, confidence in the power, the divine power to lead you and set things more right. If one does that, the things will actually get better, and even the difficulties will be the stepping stones towards progress. With my love and blessings, says our Divine Mother. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, SABCL, book The Hour of God, topic The Secret of Life, Ananda. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the world lives in and by Ananda. From Ananda, says the Veda, from Ananda we were born, by Ananda we live, to Ananda we return. And it adds that no man could even ever have the strength to draw in his breath and throw it out again if they were not this heaven of bliss embracing our existence as ether embraces our bodies, nourishing us with its eternal substance and strength and supporting life and activity. A world, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo, a world which is essentially a world of bliss. This was the ancient Vedantic vision, the drishti of Vedic drishta, which differentiates Hinduism in its early virility from the cosmic sorrow of Buddhism and cosmic disillusionment of Mayavada. But it is possible to fall from this bliss, not to realize it with the lower nature in the apara prakriti, not to be able to grasp and possess it. Two things are necessary for the fullness of man's bliss: the fullness of his being and the fullness of his knowledge, creating by their union the fullness of the strength in all its manifestations, Viryam, Bhalam, Rajas, Tejas, Ojas. For Ananda, Sat and Chit make one reality, and Chit is in its outward working pure force, to which our rishis gave the name of tapas. To attain even here upon earth this fullness of bliss, dependent upon the fullness of existence, illumination and force, must always be humanity's drift, man's collective endeavor. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, to attain it within himself, here and beyond, must always be the drift of the human unit, the individual's endeavor. Wherever the knowledge in him thinks it can grasp this bliss, it will fix its heaven. It is Swarga, Vaikunta, Goloka. This is Nirvana, says our Lord Shri Aurobindo. Next topic, the silence behind life. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, there is a silence behind life as well as within it, and it is only in this more secret, sustaining silence that we can hear clearly the voice of God. In the noise of the world, we hear only altered and disturbed echoes of it. For the voice comes always. Who else speaks to us on our journey? But the gods of the heart, the gods of the mind, the gods of desire, the gods of sense take up the divine cry, intercept it, and alter it for their purposes. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, Krishna calls to us, but the first note, even the opening power or sweetness, awakes a very brouhaha of these echoes. It is not the fault of these poor gods. The ascent of power is so desirable, the note of sweetness is so captivating that they must seize it. They would be dull and soulless. There would be no hope of their redemption if they did not at once leap at it and make it their own. But in becoming their own, it ceases to be entirely his. How many who have the religious faith and religious temperament are following the impulses of their heart, cravings of the desire, urgency of their senses, dictates of their opinion, when they fully imagine that their God is leading them? And they do well, for God is leading them. It is the way He has chosen for them, and since He has chosen it, it is the best and wisest and most fruitful way for them. Still, it is their God, not one they have made in their own image as the atheists believe, but one who makes himself in the image that they prefer, that suits their nature and their development. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, in whatever way men come to me, in what way they think of me, in that way I love and cleave to them. It is a saying of fathomless depth, which contains the seed of the whole truth about God and religion. After all, it is only in this way that the conditioned can meet the absolute, that which has a nature or dharma of its own, with that which is beyond all limits of nature or dharma. After the meeting of the soul with God, well, that's a different matter. The secrets of the nuptial chamber cannot be all spoken. Nevertheless, there is a higher way of meeting Him, that which leads us through subjection to the gods. By perfect love, by perfect joy, perfect satisfaction, perfected mind, one can hear what the voice truly says. If not the voice itself, catch the kernel of the message with a soul of ecstatic perfection. Even if afterwards the gods dilate on it by attempting to amplify and complete it, load it with full false corollaries, or prevent great fullness of truth from coming to us.
सर्वस्मै ते तदितमतिशय
Next topic, the real difficulty. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo focuses on difficulty and says, the real difficulty is always in ourselves, not in our surroundings. There are three things necessary in order to make men invincible: will, disinterestedness, and faith. We may have a will to emancipate ourselves, but sufficient faith may be lacking. We may have a faith in our ultimate emancipation, but the will to use the necessary means may be wanting. And even if there are will and faith, we may use them with a violent attachment to the fruit of our work, or with the passions of hatred, blind excitement, or hasty forcefulness, which may produce evil reactions. For this reason, it is necessary in a work of such magnitude to have resort to a higher power than that of the mind and body in order to overcome unprecedented obstacles. This is the need of sadhana. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, God is within us, an omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient power. We and He are of one nature, and if we get in touch with Him and put ourselves in His hands, He will pour into us His own force, and we shall realize that we too have our share of Godhead, our importance or portion of omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscience. The path is long, but self-surrender makes it short. The way is difficult, but perfect trust makes it easy. Will is omnipotent, but it must be divine will, selfless, tranquil, at ease about results. If you had faith even as a grain of mustard seed, you would say this to this mountain, come, and it would come to you. What is meant by the word faith was really will accompanied with perfect Shraddha. Shraddha does not reason, it knows, for it commands sight and sees what God wills, and it knows that what is God's will must happen. Shraddha, not blind, but using sight, spiritual, can become omniscient. Will is also omnipresent. It can throw itself into all with whom it comes into contact and give them temporarily or permanently a portion of its power, its thought, its enthusiasm. The thought of a solitary man can become, by exercise of selfless and undoubting will, the thought of a nation. The will of a single hero can breathe courage into the hearts of million cowards. This is the sadhana, says our Lord, that we have to accomplish. This is the condition of our emancipation. We have been using an imperfect will with imperfect faith and imperfect disinterestedness. Yet the task we have before us is not less difficult than to move a mountain. The force that can do it exists. The force that can do it exists, but it is hidden in a secret chamber within us, and of that chamber, God holds the key. Let us find it and claim it. Let me repeat these golden words. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the force that can do the sadhana exists, but it is hidden in a secret chamber within us, and of that chamber, God alone holds the key. So let us find Him. Let us venture out to find Him and claim it, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo.